Welcome to morning yoga. Today's practice is going to be a really sweet flow. That's the only way I can think to describe it. So be prepared to treat your body really kindly and to move with lots of intention. See you on the mat in a seat. Start in a comfortable seat, sitting up tall. So feel that you're really grounded in your sits bones, and then find some length in your torso and stack your head over your heart. Nice. Just notice what breath you brought with you, checking in. Take a couple breaths. Without judgment, just notice, and then start to smooth out the breath. Maybe you notice as you breathe in, you sit up a little taller. And the exhale, you can just let your shoulders melt down your back towards the floor. Finding some space in a long neck. Take about 5 breaths here, starting to lengthen them out to a 3 or 4 count breath, or 3 or 4 count inhale and exhale. Really paying attention to the subtle movements of your body as you inhale and exhale. Right away, we're going to start to connect this breath to movement, something you could do very simply at your desk any time of the day or while you're watching TV to just find a little extra space. So exhale, bring your chin into your chest. Gaze goes down. Go ahead and close your eyes if you'd like to. Just take a little pause here. Find that breath. And then the inhale, we're going to make a smiley face with our nose, it doesn't matter which side you come to first, but bringing your nose up towards the right side. And then deep inhale. Exhale, take your nose down to make a smile to the left. So if you need to watch me, you can kind of see we're going to go in this back and forth movement, making a smile with our nose. So just a half circle. So bring your ear over one of your shoulders. Deep inhale first. Feel your body lift. Exhale, take a long, smooth exhale to bring that nose down and around so that your left ear is at your left shoulder. Take an inhale here, pause. And on the exhale, we'll go the other direction. So finding that 4 count breath, taking an inhale once you get to your shoulder, and then an exhale takes you to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Hear that exhale through your ears. Take 2 more. And we're only moving on the exhale. Inhale, sit you up taller. Exhale. So bring your right ear to right shoulder, and this time we're going to make a rainbow with our nose. So we're going to take the other half of the circle. So on an inhale, we'll take the nose from the right side to the left. So inhale, bring it over. When you get to the left side, exhale, pause right here. So we're only moving on the inhales now. Inhale, up and over. Don't crunch your neck, just real gentle. Exhale at the right. Nice full inhale to the left. Gaze goes up. Gently pause, exhale. Inhale, make your rainbow. Exhale, pause. And let's put it all together. So inhale, make the rainbow. And as soon as you get to the other side, dip your chin into your chest and make that smiley face. Really focusing on the inhales, the exhales, and finding that sweet movement in your neck. If this is too much, then you need to make smaller circles if your neck is screaming at you. Once you get your ear to the right side, let's take it the other direction. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, smiley face to the left. Inhale, rainbow up and over. Take 3 or 4 more on this side. Catch yourself when you've fallen out of that pattern. Another way to add some intentionality to what you're doing. And take one more and then find neutral. Gaze goes up, chin lifted. Let's take a little twist. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind the hips. Inhale, sit up tall, fill up your belly with air, and exhale, squeeze the belly button to the spine for the twist. Maybe you roll open that right shoulder a little bit for some extra space. 2 more breaths here. Come back to that intentional breath and noticing the movements in your body. When you're ready, you'll slowly come back to center and take it on the other side. Open up the left shoulder. Inhale, sit up tall, fill your belly with air. Exhale, maybe your gaze goes over the left shoulder again. Being gentle on your body, this first kind of movement, if you're early in the morning with me, we want to make sure we're awfully careful with ourselves. 1, so we'll show up on the mat again, and 2, so we don't harm ourselves. Inhale back to center. Bring the right hand down to the ground, and we'll sweep the left arm up and over for a side twist. Not a side twist, a side stretch. Inhale, lift out of the left hip. Push away from the right hand so that you make some space in the right side too. No dumping in. And then spin the chest to the sky. A little extra oomph in our twist. Inhale, come back to center, and we'll sweep the right arm, left hand to the ground. Make sure you're not leaning in or dumping in. Lift away and up, and then side bend. And then rotate the chest towards the sky, looking at the right elbow, possibly. Let the breath move you a little bit. Notice what's happening. Inhale back to center. We'll come to hands and knees. Really carefully. I like to plant my hands and then move my hips. It's a good way to feel into your mat first thing in the morning. Spread the fingers, line up the hands and the wrists. And let's inhale. Bring the chin and the chest towards the sky, rolling them forward and up. Bring the tailbone to the back. Pause right here. Let's just take a couple breaths in this cow pose with the belly dropping towards the ground. 2 more breaths. Let the shoulders relax. Push away from the mat a little bit more. Feel super grounded. 1 more inhale. Fill up all the way. And then exhale. Chin comes to chest. Curl the tail under. Send that back high to the ceiling. 3 or 4 breaths here. While you drop the chin into the chest, feel that stretch in the back. Warming up the spine for when we start to step our knees off the ground. Then find neutral. Head goes towards the front of the mat. Send the tail to the back of the mat. Pull the belly button up so you can feel supported in the rib cage. And then let's take a C shape to the right. So gaze goes over the right shoulder. Hips bump to the left. And make this curved in our mid ribs. So lengthen again your spine and curve in a little bit more. 2 more breaths right here. Maybe you keep feeling your gaze go a little bit more over the shoulder. Gentle inhale back to center. And let's take this shape to the other side. You're here 3 to 4 breaths, so make them count. Don't let it be boring. Find all those little movements with your breath and with each kind of twist in. Inhale back to center. We'll take the knees as wide as the mat. Big toes come together. Send the hips back to the heels. We're coming into child's pose. Let your heart melt towards the floor. It doesn't have to go. You could make a little pillow with your hands. But if you choose to stretch your arms out towards the front of the mat, you could even bring the forehead right to the ground. Mat on the third eye for me feels really good. Rock it back and forth. And then send the elbows out towards the edge of the mat and bring the fingers in to touch. So you make like a diamond shape. And breathe right here, noticing the extra space that you get in your shoulders And maybe a little more room to really relax into this child's pose. We've got 5 breaths here. Come back to your nice deep inhales and exhales. Let the hips and the thighs relax. Let your belly relax. Two more breaths. We're going to move it back into that tabletop. So pushing your hands away from the ground to bring your forearms up and off the mat. Line everything back up. Hand, knee, top of the foot. Get long in your spine. And then take the right toes to the back of the mat. Keep the toes on the ground. We'll just rock a little back and forth, feeling that stretch in the back of the leg. And look at your hands. We're going to bring the right hand towards the center of the mat so we can step the right foot up on the outside of it. So you should see hand, hand, foot. Right away, let's lean into this right knee just so that we can come and pick up the back knee and drag it back a little bit. We want a little extra space here. And then stack the knee over the ankle. And equally, without a whole lot of expectation here, we're going to exhale, bend into both elbows so that they ride this elevator down at the same time. We don't want to be lopsided. And again, not too much expectation. They don't have to meet the floor. You want to try to keep the forearms parallel. And now breathe into the right hip. Hopefully you're feeling a little stretch there. If it's too painful, straighten the elbows a little bit. Couple breaths here. Really trying to keep the knee stacked over the ankle on the right leg. So much to think about. Come back to the breath. Deep exhales go to that right hip crease. Maybe I'm feeling it right behind my left knee. Peek over at your toe. Bring your toes off the ground. Heel stays firmly planted. And pivot the toes to reach towards the right side of the mat. And then come back to your elevator, lowering those elbows down. See if maybe you found just a little bit more space. Crown of the head can reach towards the mat. 3 more breaths here, breathing into the hip. Trying to relax the shoulders, relax the face muscles. And push away from the floor. We're going to come in kneeling crescent. So frame the foot with those hands, reset. Inhale, bring yourself up to kneeling. And then let's stretch the arms up overhead. Spread the fingers really wide. And let the shoulders calm down the back. We're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand and take a side bend over to the right. Gaze could maybe go up to the elbow, so you're kind of rolling your chest to the left side. 2 more breaths here. Find that in balance and stretching. Feel it in the side body. Inhale back to center, and we're going to T-arm to the right. Gaze goes to the left. You can come back to all that ways that the breath moves the body in these twists. See if you can find a little more space to open up here. Gaze goes forward. Look down at the floor. Bring the left hand to the ground, right hand to the sky. A little twist here, a couple breaths. Nice wide fingers. Bring the right hand down. We'll come back to kneeling. Tabletop, whatever you want to call this. This is kneeling on my knees. And then take the left toes behind you. Let's rock back and forth into that back leg muscle. And then move the left hand into the middle of the mat. Step the left foot up. And we'll lean in, lift the right knee, send it back. And then stack the ankle and knee and lower your bend into your elbows. Nice and even. Couple breaths here, checking in, sending the breath to the left hip crease now. Then peek over at your left toes. Lift the toes off the ground. Point them towards the left side of the mat. And then come back to the elbow bending. Maybe you don't even notice much, but you should notice, you don't notice much in your elbow bend, but you could notice maybe a little bit more in opening in your hip crease. 2 more breaths here. Gaze, send your crown of your head to the ground. So you're looking at your right knee. And then let's slowly unwind out of this, bringing things back in alignment. So we've got our foot between our hands and then come up to kneeling. And we'll take the arms up. So we're in kneeling crescent. Drop the shoulders down. And right away we'll grab the right wrist and lean left. Gaze goes up at the right elbow. 1 more breath. Come back to center and let's take a T-twist to the left. 3 breaths here. Bring your mind back to your breath, noticing how it's helping you in this twist, keeping your ribs supported, and then look forward, right hand to the ground. A couple breaths in this twist. Spread the fingers wide on both hands. Drop the left hands to the ground. We'll step back to table. Shake the hips left to right. And then spread the fingers wide. We're going to curl the toes under and keep the knees bent as you lift them off the ground. And we'll start to straighten into the right leg. We're right away coming into this pedaling out. Then switching bends, bend into the right knee, straighten the left. Take that back and forth a couple times. Push away from the mat. And then find some stillness. Actually, take your feet a little bit towards the edges of the mat, a little wider. Down dog, and then exhale, lower the heels. See if you find a little space to have your heels come closer to the ground. Send the hips to the sky. Let the head drop so the ears are by the biceps. Gaze can go at the knees. Then look forward. We'll step the feet behind the wrists. So 1 foot, then the other. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend into the knees. Grab both elbows. And let's just take a swing side to side. Nice deep bend in the knees. Here, first forward fold. Let the head hang. Let's find some space and calmness. Then come to center. We'll release the elbows and inhale, slowly roll up. Arms come overhead. And as soon as the fingertips kiss, let's swan dive right back down. Nice deep bend in the knees. Take that 2 more times. Inhale, roll up. Trying to match the breath and the movement. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe on this next roll up, you incorporate the neck. So as you roll up, your gaze goes to the sky. Fingers come overhead. Let them touch. Slide them right through heart center. Nice. Bring the feet together. Let's just take a moment here to take a scan of our body, noticing where we are in space and getting our mind ready to move through a couple standing postures in ways that we can not need a mirror, not need someone helping us through the postures, but we're just putting our body in our mind's eye and being really aware of where our parts and pieces are moving in space. So let's start right here. On an inhale, bring your right knee into your chest. While balancing, and rotate your ankle if you'd like. We're just going to step this foot without looking back. Step this foot behind you to the back of the mat. We're going to pivot the right toes, coming into warrior 1. So without looking down at your feet, just imagine your right foot's pivoted 45 degrees towards the right corner of the mat. Bend deeper into the left knee and try to bring the hips in line with the front edge of the mat. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. Your body's going to move the way it needs to be. And if something doesn't feel right, you're going to adjust. Okay? Inhale, arms come up overhead. Nice warrior 1. Exhale, sink a little deeper into the lunge. Spread the fingers. And let the shoulders roll down the back. On an inhale, we're going to trust ourselves to turn into warrior two. So inhale, open up to the side. You'll adjust your feet. You don't have to look down. Just make enough space so you can lunge deep. Now we'll imagine the hips coming towards the side edge of the mat. Not probably perfectly, because our bodies aren't meant to just be perfect like that. Then exhale, sink into the lunge. Now another adjustment here. I can't see it in a mirror, but I can imagine my pinkies need to come a little bit closer together on the back. So I'm going to roll my shoulders open and then bring my belly button in line with my chin so that I'm not leaning forward. Okay. In my mind, it looks pretty good. On an inhale, we'll straighten the left knee. Flip the left palm so it's facing the ceiling, and then bring it up and over, reversing. Right hand comes down the right leg. Gaze stays up at the elbow. Come back to your deep inhales and exhales and notice how the body moves right here. One more breath. Inhale, come back up to your T arms, and we'll point both toes towards the right edge of the mat. Bring the hands up in superstar, nice wide V. Take up as much space as you can. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. And then kick the heels in. We're going to come into a squat, a goddess squat. So hands come together. In fact, if you can, bring your forearms together too. And then we'll drop the hips in space. And we're just going to breathe here, 5 breaths. Each exhale, drop a little lower. Three more breaths. Maybe tip the tail in just a little bit so your back's a little bit straighter. Then inhale, straighten the knees. Come back to your superstar. Let's point the toes in. Heels out. Clasp the hands behind the back. I'm going to go right thumb on top first because we'll be here again. Roll the shoulders open. Inhale, lift the chest just a little bit. Gaze goes up. And then exhale with lots of control. We're going to forward fold. Trying to send the crown of the head to the ground. If your hands lift way off your back while they're clasped together, yay, you. If they're still on your hips, awesome. Roll the shoulders just a little bit more. With each exhale, send the crown of your head closer to the ground. Good. Release your hands. We're going to walk ourselves to the back of the mat. Bring the left toes up to meet the right. And then inhale forward or roll up. Bring the hands together. Slide them through heart center. And 2 more times. We'll take just that top part of our vinyasa. Inhale, arms come down, around, and up. Gaze goes up. Exhale, slide them through heart center. 1 more. And once again, right here in mountain pose, scan your body. Set yourself up. And this time we'll bring the left knee into the chest. Roll the ankle. We'll take this through again on this side. Send the left leg to the back of the mat. Set yourself up for warrior 1. We have about 5 breaths in each posture. It's really finding the perfect posture for us in this moment today. Not the perfect posture. That's what's working today. Square the hips, a little deeper lunge. Let the shoulders relax. Maybe a wider V with your hands. Give you a little more space in your shoulders. 1 more breath here. Nice deep inhale. Deep exhale. And open up to warrior 2. Make all the little adjustments. My last one is always gaze over the middle finger. That just seems like a lot of concentration. I think I'm trying to avoid it. Put your torso up tall. 2 more breaths. If your quad is starting to burn, send an exhale to it. We'll straighten the left knee, flip the right palm, bring it up and over, reverse. Lift up out of the right side. One more breath. We'll come into superstar. Point the toes towards the edge of the right edge of the mat. I guess it's the left now. Take up space. Kick the heels in. We'll bring the hands together in prayer this time and sink low. We're here 5 breaths. So each inhale will just pulse. Nice deep exhale. Pulse down. Inhale, pulse down. You're trying to bring your hips lower and lower and giving yourself a little break on the inhales. One more. Inhale, straighten the legs. Point the toes in, heels out. Find your superstar and then wrap the hands together behind the back. Left thumb on top this time, or opposite. Roll the shoulders open, look up. Exhale, deep exhale as you fold forward. 5 breaths here. Let yourself notice if there's a difference with the different thumb on top. Two more breaths. Release the hands. We'll actually stay right here. Release the hands, bring the heel toe together. We're going to find goddess squat. Drop the hips low. Bring the chest forward. I need to fix my shirt. Use the elbows against the knees so you can open the hips a little wider. We'll try to keep finding a straight back and lowering the hips at the same time. So come back to your breath. Deep inhale. Exhale, let the hips go towards the floor. Just a direction, something to think about. Try to let go of anything that's holding on that doesn't need to. So the space between your eyebrows, your jaw, move your shoulders. Breathe into the hips and thighs. Maybe you can stop gripping in the toes. So find some spaces to release tension. And anything that just seems impossible, send it some breath. Pushing away from the hands, opening the knees. So much happening right here. Take one more breath, and then we'll just put our hands down and try to find a way to our seat. Giving yourself some support as you move gently. Legs are going to go out long. Sit up real tall. Flex the feet. Arms go to the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. And try to 5 breaths looking forward. So you can grab onto your feet or just let your feet or your hands, drop to the mat or find your shins. But gaze is out over the toes, chin lifted. And each exhale, we're going to try to bring the crown of the head closer to the front of the mat. Probably got 2 more breaths now. Let the exhales move you. Fill up the belly and then exhale, squeeze all the air out. And then bring your chin into your chest. Let go of anything you're hanging on to. Let's let the hands fall. We've got 5 breaths here rounded in. Again, scan your body head to toe. What can you let go of? What tension is holding on? What has tightened that you can release? We'll roll up slowly. Make your way to your back. We're going to take supine pigeon. So roll on your back. Let's start with the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Open that knee out wide. You maybe stay right here. Or lift the right shin so it's parallel to the ceiling. Bring your hands behind your right thigh. And you could try to bring your left leg towards your face. You don't have to. You don't have to squeeze. You're here for you. And maybe a little rock side to side. So find what feels good right here. Again, body scan. Relax what's squeezing tight that doesn't need to. 2 more breaths. Release your leg and take your arms out into cactus or T. I'm going to go with cactus for space sake. And then shift the hips to the right. So I guess you're not shifting, you're letting your hips drop to the right so that hopefully your left foot comes towards the ground. If this is too much, you could just stack one leg on top of the other. But for me, this is a really nice stretch in the left hip. Gaze could go over the left shoulder. And close your eyes. Send exhales to anything that has a lot of tension. For me, it's going to be this left hip crease. Woo-wee. We're at almost the end of our practice, so we've got to do this on the other side. That's going to be pretty much it. So keep your attention right here for these last few moments. You committed to being on your mat, so enjoy this break for your mind and this nurturing for your body. And inhale, bring your knees back in. You can give yourself a little hug. And then we'll plant the feet and take it on the other side. So right ankle on top of left knee. Find a hold underneath the left thigh. Breathe deep here. If the rock side to side gave you a nice hip stretch, go ahead and take that. If not, stillness is great. Flex both feet. Two more deep breaths. Release the grip and find your cactus arms, and then we'll take this to the left. I tend to have a lot of tension in my low back and in my psoas because I'm pretty sure it's because of how I sleep and maybe from crossing my legs at the desk. 2 habits I can't really seem to let go of. And so any stretch like this where I can find some space in my hips or in this low back just feels amazing. And deep breaths to the spaces holding on. I feel a little shake and quake actually in this one. If it was painful, I would back out of it, but it feels like it's not painful. It just feels like there's some opening to be had. Two more breaths. Unwind, bring yourself back to center, maybe a squeeze of the knees. And then I'm going to come to a seat, but you could certainly lay out here in corpse pose and enjoy a Shavasana. If you're with me, we'll just find that easy seat we started in. Sit up really tall. And take just 3 breaths here, noticing the breath that you now have on your mat. Hopefully it's shifted a little bit from what you brought in with you. And if you'd like, just bring your hands into prayer, bow in, send yourself some gratitude for showing up for yourself and taking time on your mat this morning. With that, namaste. I hope you have a fabulous day.